My dear Eternal Master and Eternal Father, Srila Prabhupada, I offer my repeated obeisances at your lotus feet. Your mission was first and foremost Paschatya Deshatarane, to preach Krishna consciousness in the Western world. The secret truth of exactly how to do that was hidden, though, in the core of your heart. Who else but a Mahajan like you could have done this? Tarko pratista shutayo vibinna, nasav rishir yasya matam nabinnam, dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam, mahajanayena gatasapanta. Dry arguments are inconclusive. A great personality whose opinion does not differ from others is not considered a great sage. Simply by studying the Vedas, which are variegated, one cannot come to the right path by which religious principles are understood. The solid truth by which religious principles are understood is hidden in the heart of an unadulterated, self-realized person. Consequently, as the Shastras confirm, one should accept whatever progressive path the Mahajans advocate, and this is from the Mahabharata. No one should be so foolish as to think that there's a need now to redirect, reimagine, or restrict the tsunami of mercy you've unleashed, Srila Prabhupada, following the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. O most glorious, most generous of masters, you extended your mercy in unprecedented ways. Your invitation to all of us, even to the radical beat poet, Allen Ginsberg, was, "Come live with me." You knew that Western people had no sattvic home or shelter for practicing bhakti. So you created sacred temple ashrams, safe havens where we could all live together without sectarianism and gain a foundation in the practice of Krishna consciousness. One of your godbrothers once seemingly praised himself while undermining your service. He said, referring to us, your flawed disciples, he said, "It was not my mentality to associate with so many low-class people. But your mentality, Srila Prabhupada, was one of extraordinary mercy and selfless compassion without discrimination. Your compassion could not be imitated by anyone of a lesser realization. You risked your life for us time and time again. You tirelessly crisscrossed the 7 oceans and 7 seas for us all, time and time again. Srila Rupa Goswami was celebrated as Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam. He understood the mind and the intention of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In the same way, Srila Prabhupada, you understood the mind and intention of your Guru Maharaj. You understood how to preach Krishna consciousness in the Western world, creating regular daily programs with the 5 most important angas of bhakti at their core, as recommended by Lord Chaitanya. Sadhu Sangha Namakirtan Bhagavat Shravan, Maturavas Sri Mutira Shradaya Sevan. One should associate with devotees, chant the holy name of the Lord, hear Srimad Bhagavatam, reside at Mathura, and worship the deity with faith and veneration. This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila. In this way, Srila Prabhupada, you created significant lasting changes in culture and societies all over the world. In the 1960s, the principles you taught were unheard of or scoffed at and considered far outside the mainstream. Now, so many of these core principles of Krishna consciousness are being practiced and embraced in the public square all over the world. The chanting of sacred mantras like the Maha Mantra are being practiced in yoga studios, everywhere. Belief in reincarnation is being accepted by Christians, Jews, and other Western people Vegetarianism is being touted by health practitioners as being a way out of so many cancer-prone diets, and a practice of living a simpler, more natural way of life, as you instructed, is now being advocated by environmentalists as the only way to resolve our global crisis of climate change. The tsunami of your compassion was first and foremost facing west, but then you turn east toward India, toward Russia, and toward Africa. Then you directed the attention of your disciples toward China and the Islamic countries as well. Why? Because the cornerstone of your preaching and the teaching of Lord Sri Chaitanya is that all living beings are but part of the Supreme. Or in other words, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, they are mine. You, Srila Prabhupada, are the great Mahajan spiritual master who has seen this truth. As your disciples, we need to see it as well. The tsunami of Prema Sankirtan, originally unleashed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and brought to every shore of this world by you, cannot be stopped. At the same time, we failed you in so many ways, Srila Prabhupada, and failed your Vaikuntha children, as you call them, as well. Now we must, without finger pointing, become more vigilant in detecting the finer and finer dust within our own hearts, within our communities, and within our families. We must now cast out the choking weeds that can destroy the very fabric and the unity of our community from within. Oh, Srila Prabhupada, I am so weak. I am so often deluded, and yet I know that you will never abandon me. Quoting from Srila Prabhupada's poem, misled we are, all going astray. Save us, Lord, our fervent pray. Wonder thy ways to turn our face. Adore thy feet, your divine grace. My dear Srila Prabhupada, please flood my heart with the tsunami of your compassion as you have flooded the rest of this world. Please engage me as a carrier of your compassion and wash away everything in my heart that is not of service to your mission. You have saved me and so many others by your unprecedented compassion. I pray to never fail to extend your compassion to all others. Your service is my only shelter in this transient world full of so much suffering. I pray with hope for your extraordinary mercy in these most trying times. Your eternal servant and daughter, Rukmini Devi Dasi. Thank you.